Okay, so we're at the end of a three-match test series between India and South Africa. India considered a bad touring side generally. This time around, ending on a happy note, we are going to first get our reactions from the director or the head coach of the Indian team. No, I don't know how you refer to that correctly. There was a lot of things that happened during this series with like the rain call-offs and the pitches and things. Unfortunately, we're going to get Ravi's reaction first on how the team performed during the entire series and the last two test matches and what he had to say about that. So Ravi, first, your overall analysis of the series. Yeah, we're just waiting on Ravi for that, and this is our friend waiting in the lines, and Ravi's back.
As far as I'm concerned, let's put it this way. When a team goes abroad, let's have a fair contest out there. Let's give them pitches where you can have a contest. I understand home advantage. We do that to our liking as well when we play back in India. On those dust bowls there. But it's only fair if a team goes abroad to give them at least a chance. You don't want to prepare wickets where it's a completely uneven, a contest of no meaning. And I think that's what South Africa have done. They won the series, and deservingly so. I think they were the better of the two teams in the given conditions. But I don't think it's very sporting, to be very honest. I think it's one of those series that is predetermined, even before the first ball is bowled. And even before the first coin, goes up. So as far as I'm concerned, South Africa, well deserved. You deserve it all, but really, let's put up more of a show next time. Let's get the pitches to better up. Let's get a contest going.
So Ravi, what about the all the sessions throughout the series where we thought India actually had a chance to be on top and take the game away? We had that in the first test and the second test as well. And first test, obviously India won, but so it could have gone India's way either.
Yes, it could have. I'm not denying that, and that's only because the players really stood up to the occasion. They did something above their expected, punched above their weight, as they say. Got something going there. But I think the conditions very heavily in favor of South Africa. If I was to analyze from a neutral perspective. You can graze a cow on these wickets. And if I'm concerned, you get India there touring South Africa after a long time. It's a new test series. A lot for the fans to look up to. Let's give them wickets where you can expect a contest. That's not something that the Indians are not used to. You dish it up to them and you hope for a contest. It's a little unfair on the Indian players. And I thought they did a sterling job. Not only did they win the last test match, but they could have pulled off a ripper in the first one. And it's only a couple of wickets here and there which cost them the match, and it very nearly backfired on South Africa. And Chaitanya, if you agree, it's similar to what happened in Australia. Over here earlier in the year, the wicket in Pune, you had this Mr. Know-how spin India out. The fact of the matter is, you never heard his name again. So you've got to prepare wickets there where you have a Test cricket contest going on, not something which is. It's a pity to watch. Even before the first ball is bowled, you pretty much know the result of the series. It's how well the opposition puts up a fight. I think India did marvellously well. And if you were to look at the holistic approach, could have even won the series in these adverse conditions. And hats off for that.
We're going to quickly move to Harsha to get some of the perspectives about the batting that both sides have exhibited during the three-match series and what he has to say particularly about the Indian batting lineup, the top 3, top 4, firing, not firing. Often it has to be number 6, 7 that comes and rescues India. What do you have to say about that, Harsha, throughout the series?
Yeah, I think it was only expected. And it was only expected because of what's coming next, and what you have next is the IPL auditions and the IPL what's it called? Whatever it's
called. Auctions.
The auctions, yes. And I think it's largely to do with the 2020 cricket. India out there on the field, as far as in my opinion, the best 11 players in the country took on the field at Johannesburg. And they won the test match as well. But I thought also the best 11 players, maybe Rohit for Ajinkya is a debatable topic, but really, I thought a good 11 took the field in Cape Town as well. The point is, were they good enough to play a test match in Cape Town? The answer probably is no. And the answer probably no is not because anything to do with the player's talent or the player's ability. It's largely to do with the fact that they're really, with T20 cricket and one-day cricket, has completely changed the way that test cricket is looked upon now in the modern day. And probably Team 4, even if you look at back Tendulkar's team or Azharuddin's team that actually told South Africa, you'd probably find a bit of a stern fight put up. And you'd probably wonder this team is actually more naturally gifted than the one that Azharuddin or Tendulkar had. But the fact is that they actually put up a better fight. And I think the reason for that is the players that time were more tuned to test match cricket. They were looking to actually have sessions where one team won, the other team won, and they put up a fight and they'd keep going. And things really changed quite drastically along the line. Now, teams are really looking for very quick results. And what happens is the main virtue of test match cricket, the most purest form of cricket, which is patience, seems to have more or less dried out of the game. And that really is reflecting as well in the performances session after session as well. So even if India had a very naturally gifted young bunch of talent, they did. Probably the best team in terms of talent towards South Africa. But in terms of patience and the other attributes that go with test match cricket, they were found wanting a couple of times, and I think that's really what cost the series as well. Howsoever, I would not really blame India for it so much so. When South Africa were in India a couple of years ago, they lost a series 3-0 as well. We talk about 4 test match series, South Africa lost 3-0. And you've got to say, these are the same players who have won their series so handsomely. The fact is that even South Africa back in December of 15 didn't have the same kind of application that you need in test match cricket. And demonstrated in one of the matches that they actually, I think, ended up losing. But after a very fierce fight, they scored something around 0.5 per over, if I'm not mistaken, one of the test matches. South Africa lost the match, but they put up a very brave fight and they earned a lot of accolades for that. The fact is, a modern South African batsman doesn't have the same kind of aptitude either that he needs for test match cricket, and I think that is where the deficiency lies by the team. And in the end, the home team winning is only a very fair result, isn't it, in both cases?
We're going to quickly switch to Sir Geoffrey to get some perspectives on the non-cricketing part. Some of the controversies, the rain interruption in the match, asking the captains again and again, the umpires, then the pitch being unfit, allowing India to play on, then and batsman gets hit on the head off of a short ball, arguably bouncing a little more, but calling the day off. The rain god stepped in and called off play so that everybody could sleep over the matter and get together the next day.
It's funny, Chaitanya. It is very funny, but I think India has been a bit victimized when it comes to these situations in South Africa. They had a similar situation, if I remember, Tendulkar, with the ball tampering issue, and now this one coming up. It's a bit unfortunate, really. But to be very honest and to be very candid, I think the Indian team is only a victim of its own board. So when the board decides particular policies and it backfires on the players, it's very evident to everyone that Virat is overly aggressive and the players don't have the technique, don't have the temper. Look, at the end of the day, a cricket board had an opportunity to buy 3 weeks of training time in South Africa. They could have gone a couple of practice matches in. They could have really toiled hard on those wickets there. But they chose to play Sri Lanka in a T20 series up in Pune or one of those venues there. Look, I'm sorry, if you're serious about Test cricket and if you're serious about results, you have to look at a tour as a tour. You can't look at it as just filling in the blanks and a time schedule. You land up there in the morning of the Test match and you play out 5 days. I'm sorry, not going to win too many Test matches. So when England used to go to Australia for the Ashes, and I'm talking about 40 years back, they used to have 2 months of preparation time. 2 months ago, you were there, you were getting used to the bounce, you're getting used to the pace, getting used to those big cracks in the middle of the wicket. You didn't suddenly come out in a test match saying, we are professional cricketers, we can handle any condition. No, you can't, because you're only human. So they had to put in more effort when it came to the training. I'm sorry, India, they can look back and say, well, we tried our best. Well, you tried your best in the given circumstances, but you weren't allowed to try your best because your management decided to play Sri Lanka in a T20 series in India. Look, you've got to give more seriousness to Test cricket. You want results in Test cricket. It's the ultimate form of cricket. You've got to be serious for cricket. And I'm sorry, the BCCI, I think it's getting a little too bad, really. It's IPL or nothing, really, for them.
What about the controversies with the umpires ultimately being in the driving seat, having to call off the match and
it's
pretty much making a mess?
It's fair, Chaitanya. You had yourself and your brother playing in the middle and the ball bouncing off a length on your helmet. I don't think you'll be too chuffed about playing on for the rest of 90 overs. So I think the umpires being in the right place is the right decision. The question is what the umpires did on the given delivery. Now, I think Polly mentioned in the show that the delivery was less than 8.5 meters. Now, when you're talking about that kind of delivery, that's not a good length delivery. So it's spurting off a bouncer. It's a good bouncer that a young talent from India bowled, and Elgar couldn't handle it in the given circumstances. The point is, what is your yardstick for judgment? Are you going with that delivery, or are you going with what transpired in the last 50 minutes? And I think what transpired in the last 50 minutes before that was really what drove Ian Gould and Alim Dar to actually contemplate taking the players off, not that particular delivery. The ball was bouncing off a length. But then, again, you've got to ask yourself a question. Is it dangerous? Is it intimidating for the batsman? Is he scared for his life? I think not. India scored 200 on that wicket and possibly lost 5 wickets in the whole day's play, and that's a very good return. So for me, it was a bit blown out of proportion. I think a couple of things to do with it. It was not that delivery that Bumrah bowled. It was a bit to do with some of the deliveries before that. Maybe Bhuvaneshwar at 122 was troubling the South Africans off a length. I think that's what got the umpires thinking. And also, I think what got the umpires thinking is, look, India bat the day out. South Africa come in. They're the home team. It's their wicket. And all of a sudden, you have a situation where it's uncomfortable for the home team to play. Now that drives the umpire into thinking there's something grossly wrong that the groundsman has done. If you ask the South African team, they'd probably say, no, that ball was not the benchmark, but it was a lot of 40 overs before that. It's a tricky wicket to play. I wouldn't really bet my life on playing on that, Chaitanya. I'm sorry. Look, India put up a brave fight. Kudos to Kohli for that, kudos to their team for that, but that's not supposed to be the way all the time. You got to look at it pragmatically. You got to look at what is practical, what is doable on the wicket. I don't think it was worth playing on. But once the umpires decided to play on day 2, well, they couldn't shoot back on day 3. They had to go through the whole routine, and I think that's what got India the Test match eventually.
Thank you so much. That was our Legends of Cricket on the latest India-South Africa Freedom series from Cape Town.
Johannesburg, yeah.
Johannesburg.
Joburg, yeah.
Thank you, Geoffrey.